Hi everyone, welcome to Hilltop View Journals. If you caught my latest video in the Christmas collaboration with RachandBella Crafts, you saw how we put those gorgeous snippet rolls to use. I really do hope you enjoyed that tutorial. In this video today, we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty of creating some of the snippet rolls from scratch. This is all I've got left from what I've made from what you're going to see today. And I've got plenty of ideas now to carry on and decorate my Christmas journals. I did think it would be helpful for you to see some ways of adding Christmas sparkle to your fussy cuts and exactly how I made those festive snippet rolls. So I hope you do enjoy this tutorial. So in this video, we'll be working with a delightful mix of scrap papers and fabrics, and hopefully you'll be creating that gorgeous, snuggly Christmas vibe. I'm mainly using elements from RachandBella Crafts' new Christmas kits. They are stunning and they suit every taste and just thematic, just creations really. I'm really happy to be using them, and at the moment they're 40% off, so do grab that offer while it's on Rachel's website and Ko-fi site. So in this tutorial, we'll cover selecting and prepping your materials, some layering techniques, different ways to layer the snippet rolls to give you that sort of shabby, chic look if that's what you like. There's some tips for incorporating different textures in your snippet rolls, and also how to use the digital elements when you purchase your digital kits. All the links you need are in the description box at the bottom of this video. So grab your crafting supplies, and depending on the time of day, maybe some hot chocolate with the marshmallows, of course, and cream on top, because you can't have hot chocolate without marshmallows and cream. And let's create some snippet roll magic together. Okay, enjoy the show. So we have a couple of ideas on blinging up your embellishments. And so this one here, I don't know if the camera will show it, but I used metallic gilding polish. So you can get quite a nice subtle effect. I used a brush on there. You can use your fingers, but you can, that's quite a nice way of getting just a hint of gold on there, and you can get this in all different types of things. I mean, I've had this for a couple of years now, and there's tons left, so it is worth the investment if you do like your bling. So that's one way you can do it. Another way, let's have a look now, what should we do? Another way is to use, what I've done here is I've used a bit of acrylic paint, and I've watered it down, and literally I've just gone and flicked it with a brush. It's a bit haphazard, but this is handy if you just want some shimmer on there and you're going to sew around the edge, because if you frame the edge, then it'll be difficult to stitch with your machine. So there's that idea. And let me just clean up here. Now, it all depends on what you've got in your stash, really. Now, what I have done with these is I've gone around them first with antique linen distress oxide, just to take the white away. So it's not making them sort of grungy, it's just taking that edge of the white. And that's how I've used that. So the other thing you can do is obviously use embossing. So let's do a little bit of embossing. You can use a distress embossing dabber, or you can use your embossing stamp pad. And have I got some examples here? Yes. So these are with the embossing powder, and I think these are probably my favourite. And so you can just get just a nice edge around. You've got to work very quickly. And then get your embossing powder, your gold bling, chuck it around. And let's see if I can find a little grabby tool. There we go. Okay, so that's quite nice there. You can brush some of it away if you don't want it. I think that's wet, that one. Let's try this one. Okay, so that's with the dabber. Let's try it with the embossing pad. So with an embossing pad, what I would do is just run the edges in the pad. So that they're wet, and then you can just do exactly the same then with whatever you've got left here. Doesn't seem to want to stick on that edge. Got some on there now. Okay, so that's that. And what I'll do now is I'll quickly dry it off. So there you are. So you can get quite a nice edge, and if you take your time, not like me because I've got splatters there, but if you take your time you can get a really nice neat edge. So if that's important to you in whatever you're working on, I think the embossing powder is your best bet. One thing I've tried here is gold leaf, and I've tried a different thing, a couple of different ways. I've used a Uhu stick there, just to get it to stick, and it does stick on there. Not great, but it you know, you can get a nice little bit of bling on there, or you'll get a better. Oh, so this was with, I think this was with yeah, this was with I can't even think of the glue. Here we go, tacky glue. So that's quite messy, so that wasn't a great look. This is with the proper gilding adhesive, so that is what I would recommend if you're going to go with gold leaf. But you do need to dry this off for about an hour. You need to prep ahead, basically, put it on the edge and then leave it. I did actually cheat and use my heat tool, and I did manage to get it to on there. So that's what I'll do now. I think I'll just show you how it works on there. I'll use it. No, I won't use that one. I'll use this one. So it's a bit like glue. And I think it's probably best used where you've got a large surface that you want to cover with gold leaf. Right, I'm going to quickly dry this off with my heat tool behind me. So that's pretty dry now, and you know it's ready when you can feel it being really tacky. So I found this technique though the most messy. This stuff just goes everywhere. These are just little scrappy bits that I've saved from doing it, playing around with it. And I guess you could go in and touch it up then if you've missed pieces. Okay, so that's that. So yeah, it's really messy, I gotta admit. Right, I'm not gonna bother putting this back. I'm gonna put this in my little waste bin. But the other one that's really worked out well is holographic glitter. So I've done 2 here. How sparkly is that? So cool. Right, let's get this one. So I think for fussy edges like this, I think this is a great way. And so this is what I've got. Somebody bought it for me a couple of years ago, and it's just a pack of all different colours of holographic glitter. You can buy this on Amazon. This is Leo Bro. There's tons of different products, and I think it's mostly used for nail art maybe. But anyway, I'm just using my tacky glue, and I'm going to go around the edge with this. I'm trying to be careful, but it kind of doesn't matter so much. I haven't tried it with any other glue, but I'm sure Fabitac would work. Not sure if a glue stick would give you enough tackiness. But you pile it on. Oh, it's so much fun. Look at that. It's amazing. So bright. Get my grabby tool. And there we go. Oh, look at the bling on that. Of course, you need to let it dry for a while. But that's a really good coverage, and it does make it look so pretty. If you were careful, you could put it around, and I'm sure you can get different grades of holographic glitter as well. So maybe you can get thinner little oh gosh, I can't really think of it. So, bling. Let's just call it bling. But yeah, so that's a really good bit of fun. So I think if you're going to invest in something and you're going to treat yourself over Christmas, then I would go for some of this holographic glitter and invest in an embossing stamp. Or I find this great, this embossing dabber. It's great for using on stamps and stencils. And then just some gold embossing powder. You do need a heat tool, but yeah, that's what I would invest in if you are thinking of treating yourself. So I'm just going to tidy this up now, try and get all this glitter back in. Just like being in school again, isn't it? So much fun. Okay, to make your strips, I would suggest that you just grab any sort of packaging paper or anything you've got and just fold it until you get to the size of the strip you want. So let's go there and go there. And then to get equal sizes, just cut down the edges, and then you'll have strips that kind of match up. I mean, it's not absolutely essential that they match up, but it does make life easier when you're making your snippet rolls. So you're making strips that you're then going to join together to create a snippet roll. Now, I know Lydia is going to be making snippet rolls with you, so I am just going to prepare this one just so that I can use it in this year's Christmas journal. So let's cut that on down here. So this is the no measuring way. If you want to be accurate and measure, then please go ahead. Okay, so then I've got my strips. If I go back to these ones, so these ones are quite similar in colours. the sort of greens and reds. So you can see those there, and I got some blue scatters in there. So this one I want to make more maybe neutral. And what I'm going to do first is I am going to, it's just like creating a masterboard. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You could do it this way where you're sticking things down. Depends what kind of scraps you got really. Or you can just do it in a strip by strip, which would be probably easier for me to film actually. So maybe I'll do that. I'll do a strip by strip here. And I am just going to grab some papers. So I've got some scraps here. I've started off with scraps apart from this tea bag, but I've got scraps here that are fairly sort of rectangular, so I've just cut them. So we'll have a go at doing sort of some rectangular ones and some that are more scrappier and bitty. So this was from a piece of packaging I bought in Hobbycraft on my weekend away in Cardiff, which was absolutely lovely. Oop, got a bit of glue there. So let's just pop that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start gluing down, and it doesn't matter which way you do this. You can try and get it in the edge, but I'm just going to stick them down and then cut the edges off. I'm going to use this stick because it'll dry really quickly. And oops, and because I'm actually sewing mine, then I'm not so bothered about putting too much glue on. But if you're putting a lot of glue on, sorry, if you're not stitching yours, then you'll need more glue. So let's join this together so as not to waste it. And all I'm going to do is just put different types of papers together. Okay, so that's one little strip. I'm just going to trim it now. Okay, so that's one strip. That's that done. So of course you get more scraps. It's like a never-ending pile, isn't it, of scraps. So let's just put all these, well, let's keep those to one side there. So these are really small little pieces, so we can use those. Okay, so let's try another strip. And what should I do with this one? So this one I'm going to use little scraps, so I'll use those up first. And I've also got some music piano roll here, so excuse the noise. So in this one it's going to be sort of messy strip. Right, so that's that one. And I'm going to leave that all messy on the sides and let that dry. Okay, so that's that one there. And what I want to do now is I want to make a wider strip, and I want to make it the size of these. So let's just see if 2 will do that. Okay, it's just a little bit too long, but that's okay. So I'm going to join them together. Let's just see. Let's use a little bit of tacky glue on the edge. Okay. So I'm going to make a larger strip now. So these are great for using up scraps, and what you can do is just before you get to the end, so like here I haven't got a piece, so I could just pop another piece on there. Actually, it's probably better if I do that, but before you get to the end you just stick another strip down and carry on gluing as you would a normal masterboard, and you can have them on your desk, and as soon as you've got some scraps, just start gluing down. And yeah, I mean, just the possibilities are endless on what you want to do these. I mean, I'm just making them really scrappy, trying to use up stuff that I've got hanging around. So we'll carry on with this one for a minute. So what I want to do now is I want to start putting my little bits of bling. So let's tidy up here and get my fussy cuts. And if you're going to sew, depending on how you've embellished your ephemera, you may want to sew before you put these on. So I've got a strip of hessian here, so I could, let's just cut some of these. Okay, so that adds just a little bit of interest to it. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take those off, and I'm going to put this through my sewing machine. Okay, so that's that snippet strip. It's a bit like a boxer's belt. That's what that's reminding me of. Right, so I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to just glue these edges down a little bit. Okay, and so that is that one. All right, let's go back to our other snippet strip. So this was the messy one. So again, I'm just going to put this through the sewing machine. It's got a little mountain here of small bits of fabric that I've cut up from my scraps, and this is what it's looking like so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue things down and try and get it so that it doesn't show through the fabric, and then I'm going to have to leave it dry. So if I just start gluing these down, we can just keep on layering all these up. Remembering, of course, that you don't want to bulk up the journal that it's going in, if it's going to go into a journal. Looks a bit like a hot mess at the minute, but I'm just going to leave that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to pop it through my sewing machine. And I think I've got one more strip to do. So this is my other snippet roll strip, and what I've done with this one is, again, I've just used all the scraps, and then I've also added quite a bit of doily. Most of the doily is tea-dyed. Some of it isn't, some of it is still white. And I'm again going to sew this as well, and I'm going to decorate it once it's sewn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I've got that one to sew, and I've got this one to sew, and then I will be straight back. So for this snippet strip, I am going to add some of these lovely labels, and this one I'm going to leave plain for a little bit. I might add something to it in a second, but I'm just going to leave that plain for now. So I'm going to use my glue gun, and I'm just very quickly going to add these on. Okay, and that is that. Pop that to one side, and this one then, what I'm going to do is add some of this glorious holographic glitter, because I just cannot resist. So I need my messy sheet of paper. Let's use, I'll do, and I'm just going to put some thin beads of glue, I think. Oh, I'm making a mess, and I'm hitting the camera. Right, let's, is that enough? I think that's enough. Of course, you could just put more dabs, but yeah, I think I'm going to put this away now because it is absolutely everywhere. And the rest can go on the floor. Right, let's put this away. And let's have a look at our snippet strips, which we could quite easily make into a snippet roll. So I've got this one, and I've got that one, and I have got that one. So obviously if I wanted to make this into a roll and keep it all together, I would just attach it there like that with glue or masking tape or something like that. And what I've also got then are my other ones. Okay, so that's made with diagonal strips of paper. This is horizontal strips of paper. This is just scraps, and one's on the floor. This is then vertical strips of paper and some washi. So let's put these to good use.